what's going on. Just gonna whack open the tablet. Pretty good morning. Just going to be doing my morning ASR actually. So usually I do it a little bit later, but wanted to wake up early, just crack on with my routines and stuff. Still carrying on in the flow. So slept in a little bit longer, felt really good about that, but ultimately it wasn't much longer, it was just about 20 minutes. So nothing to celebrate. Yeah, nice thing is, you know, sometimes you can take an afternoon nap or meditation, so you can always just pick up on that. So yeah, just waiting for the PC right now. How was your guys' week? What did you guys end the week on? If you were trading, if you're a trader, just curious to know. I'll leave the music on so you guys can hear it as well. Otherwise it might be a bit too silent. Play something a bit jazzy. Finished cooking in the lab. No, I just literally started, to be honest. I'm gonna do my morning ASR. I'm really interested to dig into that because I did take a little, I took a little bit more trades than I thought I would this week. In fact, there was a little bit more trades. So because I took more trades, I wanna just make sure I get it all put into my ASR properly and I do it right, because I knew it would take me a little bit longer than it usually would. So usually doing it at 11 o'clock. I wanted to go and chill at the beach today. It's a little bit cold, I'm not going to swim, but definitely chill. Minoxidil? I don't need no minoxidil. Jeez. My man Paul said minoxidil. Dude, I have the cure for baldness. I've been working on it for years. That's the funniest thing, but I can't sell it to no one. Maybe tell people, I know. But if you're suffering with losing your hair, that's one thing. You can retain it and grow it back. If you're suffering with lost hair, it's not a salvageable situation. Maybe the Japanese will come up with something. But definitely, it's crazy actually. You know, learn how to trade, but at the same time, I figured out how to grow your hair back. So yeah, that's one thing in itself. Obviously, it's a process. Like anything, you have to be consistent, persistent. So your mind's gone. Bro, it's just hair. You know, we've been programmed to think we need it. As men, we always think, you know, we need the hair. But truthfully, it's just hair. Nice to have. But you know what? There's these really cool different things you can do. You can get something called SMP, which is scalp micropigmentation. So you see how I've got little hairs here everywhere? What they do is they tattoo it on for you. So you won't have this like dark aura in a sense. It will just be on your scalp. It's called SMP, scalp micropigmentation tattoo. It's good, it's interesting, very interesting stuff. I mean, you can get it with a fade, but you know, once you've got it, you've got it. So I always kind of suggest, you know, make sure you know exactly how you want your hairline to look and stuff. Don't let someone else decide for you, because fashion changes, but go for something that's subtly realistic and kind of goes with you. And you know, a lot of celebrities and stuff get it for density and whatnot. In terms of, you know, getting to slowly build it back, it's a process and it can be patchy, but you can do derma rolling and things like that, but in combination with a process and a routine of yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go on about growing your hair back. I don't think it's that important. ASR this week, so let me open up my ASR document as well. Weekly ASR, love it. Alright, so we're on the week of November the 15th. Okay, so we did, oh shit, that's amazing. So I actually had actionable items on there. I forgot to check these. So wake up early to complete my morning routine before London session. I've done that, tick. Reduce time spent, yep, did that in the bathroom, yep. Develop a better system for even forecasting, even when tired, yes, I did something. Could still work on that a little bit more though, but continue shadow trading before, no, so I actually took it, so that's fine. And maintain discipline in following trading plan, yeah, good. So I literally learned all my lessons from the week before, and I was able to implement them in the week ahead. I'm just trying to click, oh there we go. Look at that, beautiful. So I was going to continue shadow trading on this particular adjustment with my routines and processes, but I decided to go ahead and do one. But you know, just ticking them off is really nice as well. So you know, future plans was to purchase another FTMO assessment, planning to continue shadow trading rather than rushing into an assessment. Because if you know anything about me, I was struggling with self-sabotage. And it was something that I struggled with. It hasn't been recent, it was definitely months ago, but I struggled with self-sabotage. So when it came down to self-sabotage, I kept passing assessments. Didn't have the issue of passing the assessment, that wasn't an issue. It was once I had the money, I found it difficult to keep it for a long period of time before. So I would somehow just start over-risking or trading outside of my hours, and I'd be doing certain behavioural things that would lead me to giving back profits in the market. So I had to take a step back from trading live and start working on that. So that was really good. Let's see my true P&L this week. I'll put that in. Give me 1 second. Where's the information gone? No. What? I was just showing someone this the other day. All my information is, oh. Ain't that weird? Okay. So it's loading somehow. Okay, sorry, no, it's a bit bizarre because the data I inputted disappeared somehow. Is this document shared with someone? No, it's with me. Let me refresh it. So October, finished that one, decent. Okay, that was good. You know, it's funny actually, I finished the last week of one second, let me just quickly check this because I've got to re-input the data. It's so annoying. Okay, open, move, new tab, new window. Yeah, how did rewrite help? Okay, cool. So rewrite was the blueprint. Essentially, it was the blueprint with actionable steps that I could implement and work on something. But it was, do you know what the best thing about Rewired is? You're more so paying for the consciousness, becoming more of a conscious trader. I think if Rewired could be named to something, it should be named to conscious trader. Because what it does, it makes you more self-aware to certain things that are very pinpointed to, these are the issues that traders face, and then it's explained in many variations, stories, and then it makes you go back and study that a lot, so then you become so self-aware that this is a self-sabotaging behavior. This is a self-sabotaging trait. So where Mark has, for example, because it's based on his experience, where he's faced certain hurdles in his journey, he's been able to recognize that has sabotaged my growth. So then he's able to put it into a module and explain it in multiple different variations so that you can recognize in the moment when that's happening to you, I've learned this already. This is a self-sabotaging behavior. And it also teaches you many different things. Like it taught me how to apply knowledge a lot better. It taught me how to learn a little bit better. Obviously not directly, but it was because for me, I was technically, 90% of us were all very, very good with technicals, right? Or you should be, but it's not a difficult thing to learn. That's the funny thing about it. And this industry always tells people that, you know, you don't need to learn about psychology, you need to learn about technicals, but that's not true. You do need to focus on your technicals mostly. It's all about your technicals, really and truly. Alright, let me put these stats in there, 1 second. So 3rd to the 8th. Okay, so I had 11 trades, total P&L 19.3. Okay, 19.3%, which was last week. And then potential P&L was literally 19.3 because I didn't miss a trade, which was great. And well, yeah, I didn't miss a trade. No, I didn't miss a trade. Trade that I would have taken. Trade taken 11. High risk was 3. Low risk was 8. 0 invalid, 0 missed trades, 100% RCR. Ended the week on 19.3. Okay, wow, how funny is that? Bloody document starts loading now after I've inputted the data again. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Man, do you know what? Just stupid document, honestly. 03 11 to 08. Let's have a look. How did rewind? Okay, so yeah, that was it. You know, nothing crazy. Rewind was it was the best tool. If anyone's wondering, it's rewindtrader.com. It just really helped me with recognizing more about myself and being able to find like formulas. Man, you know, this week I took 1 invalid trade. I know. I took 1 invalid trade. How suckish is that? I was doing so well. And I took 1 invalid trade. I mean, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, actually to be fair, it wasn't invalid. It wasn't my trading plan, to be fair. It just was, because I took it prematurely, I was like, nah, it's invalid. Fuck, man. Anyway, that totally sucks. I'm just going to class it as invalid because I've got to learn from it. I've got to learn that. So anyway, let's just quickly filter these. So how many wins did I take? I took 11 wins. A lot of trades this week. I don't even have wins and losses in here. I'm not even tracking wins and losses in this. What am I doing? How many trades in total? Okay, sorry, 1 second. Let me just fill this data in. True P&L, 14%. But potential P&L. I don't need these two. Why am I? Oh, I haven't removed them. Anyway, trades taken. Awareness is the first step. Yeah, man. Honestly, like a lot of people underrate that. Awareness is genuinely the clue that everyone misses. Please go through all my trades again now. I put too much work on myself because I took too many trades. Fuck. Okay. So that one was high risk. One. Nope. Nope. Majority of my trades are low risk, so I'm quite happy with it anyway. It's 2 high risks. Ooh. That's not that bad. It's 2 high risks still. That was 2 high risks, 3 high risks, 3 high risk trades, 3 high risk trades, 3 high risk trades still. So I'm just counting how many high risk to low risk trades I took. That's still 3 high risk trades. Okay. It seems like in the invalid trade, but that's an invalid trade, so it's not high risk. It's just invalid. Doesn't go high risk or low risk. But it is also high risk, an invalid trade, so yeah. I don't know a low risk invalid trade, to be honest. Well, I'm sure I could find one. How was the watch list? Is it breakdown? Oh, yeah. It's not anything you don't know already. It's just nice to see how the person you've learned from, in a sense, breaks his charts down. That's the main thing. Because we haven't seen that. Besides, we've not really seen that live. Oh well, we have actually. There was nothing different to the Monday market breakdown. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we all wanted it so bad, but I think we were just delusional. We just thought something magical was happening on his Friday, but we all do the same thing, man. But it was good to know his process. There were small integral details in there that was nice and confirming. Okay, 3 high risk trades this week, and then the rest was not. I find it hard to believe. I'm going to go over that data again just to make sure. Anyway, I ended the week on 14%. I'm not sure why my journal's not calculated. Oh, there might be some missing. There might be something missing because my journal's telling me a different number, but anyway, I think I've misinputted something in here. Or I've got a minus instead of a plus. Okay, and then I can crack on with these questions. So eat watermelon for $10. Man, $10 a watermelon is expensive, fucking hell. In Greece, which I'm assuming you're also from, yeah, it's about 25 cents at the lowest in peak season. Right now, it's fucking expensive. But I'm in mainland. I'm by the sea in Greece. I'm near Katerini, so I'm in Katerini. But right now, I can't get watermelon, which sucks, unless I go to like a place, but it probably tastes like crap. Okay, bye-bye. Yes, us. Racist guy. Racist? Fucking hell, imagine. Oh, fuck, do you be racist when you're brown in in Europe? Man, I find that difficult, you know. It's like when you're a coloured person in Europe, how the fuck can you be racist? Shit. I mean, you're racist to your own people. And the madam's thought process to not having USD CAD. Damn. Curious. Do you know what? I love USD CAD. Oh, phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal player. But sometimes you're just not gonna have it on watch, and that's the problem. Like USD CAD, I haven't had it on watch for a while. I mean, I've had it on watch recently, but before that, I never had it on watch for a while. Just couldn't find any good setups on it. It was just corrective, messy, selling off, no entries. Couldn't do much about it. And then there was a time where I remember like 2021, had it on almost all the time, man. it was just the best pair to be trading. Wow. Sorry about that. Otherwise the dogs will be in here barking their asses off. We'll make that green. So you guys doing your weekly ASRs now? Still on the watch list breakdown? Yeah. So with a weekly watch list breakdown, yeah, it's good. It was just pretty much just breaking down his pairs. The same as the SMB. If you watch the SMB, it's the same thing. It's just more live. I say if you've been in the Monday market breakdowns, it's just that, but without too much faffing about and talking. So it was mostly him just being able to just sit there, do his analysis, talk about his thought process, use his different tools, and for you to just observe that, which I think is quite useful because we also do the same things, but sometimes we forget it. And then you can see when he's flipping the chart, when he's not flipping the chart, those sort of things. Good morning, Mac. So those were the most important things, where you're just observing a person in his flow state, doing flow state things. Yes, Callipy, how is it going? Yeah, so most important thing is just flow state. That's the one really. You're really making sure you're on point and you're focused. You're doing everything you need to do and you're pushing forward. Okay, so let me just calculate what this RCR percentage would be in a second. Okay, so the percentage is 96. Wow, that sucks. Because of that one, it will be 96.3%. Man, I was on a 100% streak. It is what it is. Still good. It's above 90%, but still should be 100 next week. That's going to be the thing I focus on, making sure that it is 100. On Friday I took a GU loss and that spiraled down to me taking more losses and ended up -4 for the day. Any tips on breaking such patterns? Yeah, I'll tell you what it was. I was also looking at GU, don't get me wrong. I just didn't get what I wanted. You probably settled for less. Price gave you hope. It took that away. You felt a bit annoyed and frustrated, and you kind of then, that triggered another part of your emotions that then led on to you kind of going into a revenge sort of get back situation. The same way as like when you're a kid and someone punches you, you want to punch them back. But in this scenario, you're punching a market that doesn't care. So you'll keep throwing punches at it, hoping that the market's going to react and give you what you want. It's a reaction saying, okay, here's your money back. Instead, the opposite's happening. It's taking more from you. So you get consumed in that. This is a perfect thing I'm going to tell you is you can control yourself, but you can't control your environment. The trading platform, the decisions you make, choice is your environment. Sorry, choice is you. You have a choice, but everything else is a part of the environment. And what happened there was the market didn't respond in the way you thought. You had a strong bias thinking market is going to dip, it's going to go from here. There's so many things in place right now. This looks so good. You got attached, and then due to your attachment and your decision, you spiraled. It's happened to me many times, so I'm speaking from experience. If I'm wrong, just tell me, I think you might be wrong there. I think it was something much deeper, and we can look into that. But for me, that was what I faced. The biggest thing I faced was I just had this problem where I couldn't take a win and walk away, or if I took a loss, it had to be ending the day on a win, so I'd have to fight my way there. The reason why you probably stopped at 4% most likely is because you've got 5% drawdown, right? Believe it or not, there was a time when I was like, obviously doing assessment before. And when I went through this spiral, I would get to, let's say my drawdown for the day was 5%, my max drawdown was 10. I would get to like 4.8, 4.9 and stop. How crazy is that? I would trade till I get to the absolute brink of losing the assessment. And then I would stop and be like, okay, tomorrow. And that's how I would do it. And it was worse, man. I was like, it was a horrible place to be, emotional. You can change that. That's the thing. You have a choice. Like I said, you have the choice to control and craft and manifest and build your own environment. But you have to make those decisions. And when I say you have to make those decisions, I mean those decisions are your choices you make in the moment. When something happens, you make a choice. When trades are shaping up, you make a choice. You need to have a steady plan on how you're going to get to your destination. For example, if you're going to drive from here, let's say you live in London and you need to drive to Germany, you're going to have to plan, okay, there's petrol stations on the way, there's this, there's that, there's a hotel there. You're going to have to plan all of this in accordance. The same way I made this video on YouTube about when I came from the UK to Greece, and I kind of spoke about these things. That's the same thing with your trading journey. You come on your trading assessment, more importantly, you need to kind of plan your route and realize that I can't get from London to Greece in one day with just driving, even if I drive at max speed, right? Because I'll have to take a break. I'll have to stop it. You know, my body will seize up, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So you have to take those breaks. Same with your trading, right? You can't expect to get that 10% in one day. So that rush mindset that comes into place, that forces you to take so many trades, is because you're rushing, because you're thinking, man, I could just catch a few very smart trades and I can get to my profit target, and that's done. But then what about when you get to the profit target? What are you going to do then? You know, you can't be carrying on like, oh yeah, man, I'll do the same thing again and make 10K. Okay, then how many times can you do that until you lose your money? You can lose your money, man. It's gambling, right? How many times am I going to flip a coin until I get tails? It's 50-50 probability, man. It's most likely I'll get tails on the first try. It's the same thing where if you're playing around with your system, because the truth is, the majority of the trades you took there were probably not trades in your trading plan, and they were trades that you went off by intuition. And if you're nodding your head right now, you know what I'm saying, right? You went off the radar, you didn't forecast all of those trades, you probably forecasted one. That one trade didn't even come to fruition, or it did. And then when the market didn't do what you thought it was supposed to do, you felt disrespected. And then in that level of disrespect, you went in spiral, and that's why you did that. Anyway, I thought I'd just share that with you because for me, that's kind of what I kind of went through. Not this week, obviously a long time ago. The GBP CAD thread needs to be studied. Sure, it's going to be okay, Marks. Yeah, my favorite one I think on there was EuroCAD. I think it was EuroCAD. I'll have a look again. What's the exactly, wow, okay, that's exactly what happened to me. I stopped because of my max. Yeah, okay, cool, yeah, so feels like you were with me when it happened yesterday. Yeah, man, you know, we're human, we're all human. As much as we try to be this invincible machine, we're human. My wife told me this actually. She was like, whenever you do something, you literally just keep pushing yourself to the point where you're probably gonna die, right? And I was like, you know what? How you do one thing is how you do everything, and that's what I've been doing wrong in trading for a long time. You need to take those pauses in between all of that. I wasn't taking those pauses. You need to take those pauses, my friend. Sorry, so it was from the 10th to the 14th, yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you this. You need to focus not on the amount of trades, okay? The amount of trades is not the problem. If you forecast 10 trades, then you take 10 trades, you've followed your forecast. You need to follow your process. It's your process and your routine map that is going to solve your issues. You need to have you need to take a break right now. Forget everything that's happened, move on from that. You need to take a break. I would say from now to the end of the year. No matter if you're funded, you're not funded, you get into funding, you haven't been able to get funded, you've got big goals at the end of the year, forget all of that right now. What you need to do is you need to rewire your mind. Not with Rewired. If you have Rewired, that's even better, but if you don't, you need to rewire your mind in the sense that what you need to do right now is you need to focus on getting your processes and your routines on point. without having trading as a distraction right now. And then you add trading in there. For example, you build a process where in the morning you build your flow state up, and then you approach the charts to do your forecast. So no longer just waking up and looking at the phone, you're building that. And then in the afternoon, you're kind of resting, you're doing all your stuff, meditation, this and that, and you're prepping yourself for the afternoon, so maybe you do another forecast. And after that, you then go into the evening, and that's when you're resetting. And then you're basically planning for the next day, but you're not in executional mode anymore. You're outside of the hours. I mean, I don't know your time zone, but that's basically the routine you want to be building as a base plan. Obviously, you can apply it to your time zone and stuff. You want to know when you need to be waking up early, when you need to be by the charts, when you need to be resetting and you need to be building up your flow state again, all of these things. And then you want to be working in terms of a process. So that was your routine. Your process is going to be things within there. So your process might be something in the sense that after you've woken up, not after you've woken up, when you do your forecast, it works like this. I take a forecast, I put it into my morning forecast. These are the pairs I stick with. If these trades shape up, I take them. If they don't shape up, then I learn from them. And that's it. If I see a phenomenal trade and it meets everything, and even if it plays or doesn't play out, I'm training myself to only take what I told myself I'll take. Once you build that level, that's the discipline side of trading. Once you build that, you can then use that as a foundation where you then have this ability to follow through of everything you say. If you say, this is what I forecast and this is what I'm gonna do, that's what you forecast and that's what you're gonna do. Now, there will be some days where you'll be tested because life will always have tests for you. And the test that you will have is you will see things that will cause you to want to deviate from your processes and routine. But you have to build that self-trust and that self-belief that the way that you're going to become successful is going to be a sustainable process and routine that you've built, and you'll just have to follow the formula. If you fail to follow the formula, you will fail to become a successful trader, unfortunately. You could make some levels of success, but you won't be doing it through high levels of sustainability. Sustainability is the key, which is going to solve your issue. But the only way to solve that issue is kind of what I just mentioned. Now, I mentioned a lot of things, so I don't expect you to pick up every single detail to what I said. But at the same time, there's a lot more to it. It's only once you start digging in deep and start figuring out those inner laying issues that you'll start to realize what you need to do. I can't answer that question for you entirely because sometimes it can stem from other things, like, for example, you might feel like as a kid, I'm not saying this is you, Mac, but just in general, right? As a kid, something was taken away from you, so then you have the fear of loss instilled in you because it was something you were conditioned in, or you were owed something but you never got it. You were always filled with false promises. So then what that did is that made you think that you're more deserving. Life owes you something. So people bring that sort of, I wouldn't call it trauma, but they bring that sort of, they carry that baggage with them into the markets basically. And they have these assumptions that the market's going to turn around and help them, but the market doesn't care. You just need to have a sustainable process and routine that yields profits. Once you build that, that should stop you from over trading, because then you start building that trust that, okay, I didn't forecast this, I can't take it. I don't even need to be looking at it. I'm only looking and taking trades that I forecasted. Once you solve that issue, then you can work on your technicals and whatever it is, because if you're forecasting incorrectly and missing trades, then you just have to get better at forecasting and not missing trades. And then once you start forecasting properly and the trades that you forecast are playing out, what's the problem? You're making money because you've built the habit of taking trades that you forecasted only. And when you get more experience and when you get much more experience and you're making profits and you have that habit instilled in you, and you deviate once in a while because you know you're not going to fall so far off track, you can do that. But I wouldn't recommend it. I would say just stick with something. Hey, what's going on, Emmanuel? How do I say your surname? At Zenio. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish up my weekly ASR. Thank you so much, very much. Thank you so very much. I've got rewired, so yeah, I'm starting it today. We'll stop trading but focus on my process and routines, and we'll hop in your lives as often as possible. Yeah, do you know what, guys? I'll be honest with you. With these lives, you know, it's a bit of a distraction for me as well. As much as I love helping people and giving them value, I'm gonna have to do them after my trading sessions. So like in the evening time, because for me it does. I like to preserve my energy for my routines and processes, and then do the charting stuff for trading. If I put too much stuff on me, I overwhelm myself, and then I start missing stuff. So despite me having a good week, 2 weeks in a row, for example, it's not the example. Like I will still do the lives, but I might just do them later. I might not do them 12 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock UK anymore. I think I might be doing them roughly around about 4 p.m. UK. That's the time. Around about that time. 3-4. Because when I do the lives, it feels good. I love it. It gives me time to look at the charts and stuff. But sometimes the chat blows, and people ask a lot of questions, and then I get deviated from what I'm actually looking at. And I should be focusing just on my watch list and what's shaping up, and then preparing myself well. But then if I start looking at too many things, last week and this is what I'm saying, last week I noticed I kind of almost breached my rules, where because I was looking at so many other pairs, I started seeing things like, you know, I'll give you an example, Palladium, which, okay, these made money, don't get me wrong, they made money and it could work for some people, but Palladium, gold, I can't remember, France 40, these trades, I was looking at them, right? I brought them onto my watch list, or I filtered them in, and then I went back and looked at it on a Friday, and I was like, why did I do that? Why did I bring these in? It's because I was open to the possibility of looking at a lot of the pairs, because people ask a lot of questions, and then I started deviating, and I think, yeah, that does come into something with me, but to kind of just ensure that I stick with what I need to stick with, and I keep growing the way I need to grow, I need to make sure that I don't put myself in a vulnerable situation where I open myself up to old habits. Because remember, I did come from a previous background of over trading, just like yourself, Mac. You know, I could have taken 4.9% loss on a day, 4.99 to be exact. You know, many times. So I learned from that, and I think for me, process and routine really helped. And it doesn't have to be something so complicated. It has to be something that you enjoy, something that also balances that life you want to be living. But it's a very important topic, and you know, look at me. I play the piano. I will do other things. I look at the charts at a minimal now, because it's a kind of like a 180 flip. When you're studying, you're going to be looking at the charts all the time. You're going to lose sleep over it. But once you've kind of got your technicals down, you kind of need to flip that around and not spend as much time by the charts anymore, and spend more time doing you, and then the charts will come. Like, you have a set time, you know where your edge is, things like that. Like, okay, from 9 to 5, I'll be by the charts, but what times will you be in executional mode? And you can plan that in your morning forecast, basically. So let me just finish up this. This week was for this week. Alright, sweet. So 33% for the month so far. We are 2 weeks into November, which is great. Trading. Hey, what's up, Ruby? Yeah, do you guys have any questions? Anything you would like to know? Anything that you're struggling with that maybe I can help with? Trading, untrading related, more than happy to talk. I've got some time. I'm gonna shoot off though soon, so if you've got a question, I can answer it now. If not, you're gonna have to wait till the next live, or hit me up on Instagram. The new tool for running trades. That new tool for running trades. Yeah, man. New tool. I don't think it's new. I always had it, but yeah, I like it. It's basically, I think it's the. Let me just pull it up. Opening up the charts. I'm not supposed to open them up. So I use this one here. And then I use this one for the so if I'm going for the short, I can place it like that. If I'm going for the long, then the first click has to be below. It's like it's always about these two. For example, if I wanted to place it here, and that was where I took the candle, place it there. Oops. Those are the two tools. You can use this one as well. You know, I was using this one before, but yeah. How do you set it? This is for the Fibonacci retrace one. So for this one, this is the settings. You can take a screenshot on your phone or your computer right now, and I'll show you the one for the second one. For this one, you can set it like that if you want to use that one. That one looks like this. I mean, you can take the background off it if you want. There doesn't have to be a background. It's the same thing, it's just I much prefer that one. I don't like this. I don't like it because I have to keep changing it, and I'm a bit lazy, supposedly. So having that is easy. Just, that one I prefer. I think that one's a lot easier when I'm doing it. That's why I've got it there. I've also got other tools. You can use this one as well. Actually, you can turn that into a. You can turn this into levels as well using the box if you want to. I wouldn't personally, but it's possible. Yeah. And then I've got this one, the polyline. So I've got this is one that I use for forecasting because it's very fade. And then I've got this one which I use for when I'm taking screenshot forecasting, right? So that one I can put on my screenshots so it stays. So you can see it on the screenshots easier. But then this one I'll put during, like in the background. So then if I'm looking at a trade, I can leave it in there without it clouding up my stuff. And then I can just do something like that. And then what I can do is double click it. Oh, no, sorry, right click it and lock it. Now it's there and it doesn't interfere with everything. It's there in the back. And you can just delete it. The little tweaks, little tips there. Quick way to clear the charts as well. Not the way I was doing it before. You can click on the bin. You just remove the drawings straight away. Alright, I'm gonna shoot off, take my dogs for a walk. It's about 10 now, so I'll come back and I'll finalize my ASR at the right time and we'll be good to go. So yeah, guys, I hope that was a very nice tips on the routine and stuff. But yeah, definitely, Mac, if you need anything, just hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you're struggling with something. The overtrading thing, look, it will only come from you doing that inner work, really. It just comes from you sitting there by yourself, looking at how shit it was, the emotions and everything you had to face, and then you realize, all right, I need to change something. Then you take that break, you build that process, that routine, you build mitigations, which I mean, you build stuff in your process and routines that stops you from even letting you fall into that trap. And then you have to kind of learn more consciously about your emotional triggers. So that time you take off, you can then look at what those emotional triggers were.
if you've journaled your trades, which I know is difficult when you're an overtrader, but if you've journaled your trades, all of them over the past 3 months, you can go over that and you can see, okay, this was the spiraling point. At this point of day, this happened, this is what spiraled. If you track your days, like, because you have a process and routine, you can go back and look on it. For example, I've always had a routine and process in place. So I could see when I was performing really well, what was I doing? When I spiraled and I wasn't doing really well, what was I not doing? And then I can see the commonalities there. I can see on the days where I spiraled, I didn't do afternoon meditations, I didn't do reading, I didn't do these things, blah, blah, blah. I didn't start my day with, breathing exercises and whatnot. So then I realized on the days where I'm making money, I'm doing these things. On the days where I'm not making money, I'm doing those things. And you find those discrepancies. Of course, I can make money on a day where I do nothing, but can I do that consistently? That's the real question. All right, guys, I'm shooting off now. I hope that was valuable. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.